I just turned $60,000 into $1.7 million, and here's how. So in real estate, there's this thing called leverage, meaning you can buy something that's worth more with not even that much money. And there's a lot of ways to do this. So I just bought a 9-unit apartment building, not using any of my own money. I used investors' money, and they only put in $60,000. How did we do it? So this building was up for sale, and it was mismanaged heavily by the owners. They were living outside of town. They didn't have a proper property management in place. So the tenants were just kind of doing their thing, and they really brought the value of this building down by inviting friends and really just not respecting the building. So I found this deal and I put it under contract. They were asking for $900,000. I got it for $820,000. I just got the appraisal done and it's at $920,000. So from there, I already made $100K profit from the buy. Now, typically when you buy a building, banks are going to give you around 75% LTV, 60%, as low as 50% as well. Depends on the location of the building and its current state. If there's a lot of vacancies, it's going to be hard for you to get a high loan to value. In this deal, I didn't need any financing. So here's how it worked. I negotiated a very long close with the seller. I negotiated for a 6-month close, meaning from the month that I purchased it and it went under contract, I had 6 months before I had to pay the entire amount. Now I did have to pay a deposit, of course. The deposit was $10,000 plus an extra $50,000 upon removal of conditions, which was covered by my investors that I brought in. To recap, I just bought a 9-unit building for $820,000, none of my own money, $60,000 from my investors. We just got it appraised as is value, $920,000, and as if complete, $1.7 million. How's this gonna work? So we're gonna put in about 200 grand worth of renovations, and my company is actually gonna be doing it along with my trades. So that 200,000 is gonna be used to renovate the building, add more rooms, and increase the value. This is how. Right now with the building, when I bought it, it was doing $80,000 in gross revenue. With my plan of renovating it, it's gonna turn into a 20-room building. So right now it's 9 units, I'm gonna turn into a 20-room building. I'm gonna rent it out per room at around $600 per room. That's gonna boost the gross revenue to about $160,000 a year. So I doubled the income, brand new renovations, brand new electrical, which will bring the cost down. We're also installing low flow on the toilets and on the sink, and the taps, and on the shower heads. This allows for a much lower utility bill as well. So from there, $160,000 gross, let's just take half off for expenses. At a 5.5 cap rate, it's worth about $1.7 million. And that's exactly how they appraise these buildings. When you go to a lender or a bank, they're gonna look at your asset on an income basis. That's how real estate is valued upon. How much is it making net? So quick recap, 60,000 we brought in, 200,000 for renovations, extra 100K for closing costs, lawyer fees, etc. Once it's renovated, bringing brand new tenants in and it's cash flowing, then we go to the bank and finance off of that new product. And that's how you're able to get to the $1.7 million mark without even closing on it. So this is a method commonly known as AFS, or agreement for sale, but I didn't want to confuse the seller and explain that. So I just asked for a 6-month close, which gives me more than enough time to get the permits, get the renovations done, get brand new tenants in, and then go to CMHC financing, which is a very special kind of financing here in Canada, which will give me amazing rates and 50-year amortization. And I won't have to put that much down as well. So this is how real estate works. You buy an asset worth X, but you put in way less than the amount of what it actually is to purchase. That's what leverage is. Now you may ask, how did you find investors for this deal? Well, I've been wholesaling for the past 2 years, and throughout my adventures, I've been in contact with quite a few investors, people with quite a bit of money, and they wanted to partner up and buy buildings with me. Now, real quick, how do you guys know if it's a deal? How do you know if a real estate property is a deal? So there's a couple of categories that are my favorite: land, buildings, apartment buildings, hotels, or strip malls. Now with all of these deals, same principle applies. First off, it's gotta be off market. Second, the price has to be low. And you guys will learn about what's low price if you study your market. But let's say it's worth $1, you gotta get it for like 70 cents or even 60 cents. Now, I have done deals that's been on the market and it's not that much discounted, maybe 90 cents to the dollar, so it can still work. But if you want to ensure that you have a deal in your hands, make sure that it is off market, meaning you're straight to the owner, preferably. Or if you're with a realtor, that's fine as well. And it's got to be for a really good price. If not the price, make sure you negotiate on the terms. Now, in my case, the price wasn't the best. She wanted 900K, I got her down to 820. I got an 80K discount. It's okay. But the whole point of this was I was able to extend the closing, meaning I didn't have to go financing. I didn't have to get the remaining amount of money to close this deal. I could just come in, do my thing, renovate, assume the building as if it were mine, but I didn't even close on it yet. That's the crazy part. Not a lot of people know this. So I came in with just my deposit money, which is 60K, 200 grand in renovations, which is, it's my company anyways. And once it's done, we fill it up with tenants. Then we finance it at the new value, which is $1.7 million. And that's how you do real estate. Most people think with real estate, you buy a house, you fix it up, and then you sell. That's called the flip, the fix and flip. If you want to do fix and flips, I suggest you wholesale instead, meaning you lock up a deal under contract and you just assign the deal. It's much faster. You don't have to worry about renovations. You don't have to worry about raising money for your renovations, closing costs, carry costs, and selling it on the market and dealing with the entire renovation process. Just flip the contract, get to commercial as soon as you can. Now, when I say commercials, I'm talking about apartment buildings. Get to apartment buildings as soon as you can. The whole goal with real estate is cash flow. You will not cash flow by buying single family homes one at a time. You have to get to the buildings. Buy your first 10 units, buy your first 20 units. And again, a lot of people are gonna say, I don't have the money for this. How am I gonna do this? You don't need money. I just showed you guys that you don't need your own money. You can bring in investors and even they don't need that much money either. You just need to learn what a deal is and you need to learn how to present these deals to your investors. And once you gain that skill, then you're able to then raise money and close the deal yourself with equity in it. So that means you'll be buying buildings without your own money, but you still have ownership. Now here's another part about raising money and closing deals is you still get your wholesale fee. Isn't that crazy? So in this deal, I'm getting paid out 100 grand in fees divided by my team, of course. So instead of just assigning the contract and getting rid of it, I keep the building, which means I cash flow, and I still get my fee. So guys, if you learned anything from this video, just know that you can buy buildings without your own money. Listen, I've never bought real estate before. All I've done was assign contracts. But the moment that these people now want to partner with me, suddenly anything is possible. So you guys just gotta get your feet wet, assign some contracts when you first get started so you learn and build your reputation. And once you have investors in your list, you can then raise capital and buy your own buildings. So I suggest you guys investing in real estate, have the mindset of being able to raise that money. That way you can buy unlimited buildings without using your own money. You get a smaller cut from the deal, but you'll be able to do unlimited amount of deals. I hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.